Welcome to Beyond Co-Sell. This is a show where we get into what actually drives success in the AWS ecosystem. No fluff, no partner speak, just honest conversations with the people who've built it, broken it, and figured out what works. So you're hiring ex-AWS people. Because we've spoken about this before, I think would you actually always go for ex-AWS people?
No,
Or yeah, I mean, we've spoken about that Swiss Army penknife, the person that understands the different aspects of a business, how to run a business. And sometimes I think it's got to that stage. Most definitely, if you've been in AWS at early stage, you had to have that flexibility, the situational awareness to understand what to do at the right time. But I do think they get more and more boxed in as they've been there more recently, if you like. So they're not necessarily understanding the whole of the
it's
business.
also a big company.
Yeah, yeah,
So the problem I always have with a big company is there's either people to do stuff or there's stuff that's already built that you have access to. Reports, infrastructure, peers that do the job. So you can always ask someone like, what are you doing? Learn from your peers. The other thing is it's a big company. So when you come to a startup, even the size of our startup, there's nobody else. Stuff's not built. And when you want to build things, the teams that have access to that stuff, they don't work for you. They have no interest in supporting your business.
yeah.
I think there's a built-in advantage when you do hire someone because they do know people, they know process. If they've done things with other, like if they were a PDM, I actually think PDMs translate better than PSMs. But if you're a PDM and you manage a bunch of partners and you know the programs, you know people, if you were good at your job, then I think you'd be okay.
Mm.
But you still are going to have this aware like this thing that happens when you're on the outside and you're trying to get stuff done and reorient yourself. And even the people that you may or may not be relevant to them. Like you can be friends with them, but you may or may not be relevant to them. It's not like they're bringing you business. So I think that experience is new for people that are newly outside AWS and they all don't react to it. Again, it's just a lot of operational work that they don't ever have to do. Or
I hire on skill and will. So
yeah,
there are two things, right? And it's interesting to get your view on it because for me, the I hire on three things: culture, character, and empowerment. And I haven't actually put any of the skills in there because I do believe that someone that can read and fit into a culture that has a character that is, that growth mindset, the no pressure, no diamonds, the teamwork, the influence, the leadership is not a title. And I think that's what you were alluding to, that you come in with maybe a lesser title, but you have to influence people that do not report to you. And so it's interesting when you're hiring for a PAL or this position. What is this position, by the way? It's a partner alliance lead or is it, yeah,
I'm partner sales director, partner alliance director.
partner sales director? So yeah, for me, I think it's difficult to put that in a precise way. So what's your methodology? You've obviously got your job description. Do you have a specific way? I know we've spoken previously about you test them on the
No,
language, but you
it's
just
it's a lot of it's a lot of so we were talking, if you've worked at AWS, that part's easy.
hmm,
Um, Ideally, you worked at an ISV, maybe a startup, and you built something. Then you went to AWS, and then you went to another company, and then I find you. In my opinion, that's like the perfect pattern because there's probably something to say for having worked inside the four walls, worked with people. There's a certain, I used to work there. This is where I worked in the business that when you're co-selling or talking to someone else in AWS, I can reorient people around all the people I know and worked with the same way, but it's
mhm,
just different if you work there, right? It
yeah.
probably feels like an affinity club or something. I don't know, like I know what other companies do to employees that are hiring for this job. Like you know that they'll have you write entire business plans and
Yeah.
big old presentations and all of that stuff. I mean, if you whittle that stuff down, you're only doing it for one of two reasons. One is I probably want to learn or steal something from you.
Yes.
Let's
That's the
just be
majority.
honest.
I'd say about 80%
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
the
Let's just be
time,
honest.
there's that lack of knowledge and they're trying to
Mhm.
get something from you. Yeah. Yeah.
Or the second thing is I'm trying to I'm trying to understand how you think. So I think like you and what you just described, I have a bunch of traits that I think through. The most important one for me is jokingly, it's just drive, right? It's will, right?
Yeah.
But I joke and just say like it's hard for me to teach what your mama didn't, or it's not in your DNA or whatever. And then these are roles where I'm on the other side of the planet. Maybe I get a couple hours and some asynchronous slacks together with people. So it's really hard. Like they have to be pretty autonomous. That's why me hiring someone in the US is, I don't, I can, that's easy. I can spend tons of time with them and I can help them. But in EMEA, it's got to be someone who's almost like pure and pretty autonomous, can run their own franchise, right?
Yeah.
So the drive kind of DNA, and then will, like I know skill will matrix too, but it's if you are curious, intelligent, like willing to learn, then skill's usually not a problem. I mean, it is, but
Yeah.
it's usually not a problem. But that will part or that drive part or the curiosity or the entrepreneurial mindset, I can't replace that. And then there's other social cues and other things that are hard to replace too. Um, so I'm picking up on even this, just eye contact on a video or just mannerisms, because we spend a lot of meetings on Zoom. And like if you just don't have that presence or your intonation or the way you communicate, even on Zoom, it's like, I don't want that representing our business or me or whatever else.
Yeah.
And then the harder part is just how do you ask questions that put people into that situation? And then I'm really just trying to unpack how they think. So it's funny whether they watch this video or not, or any videos that we record. It's stupid, honestly. You can understand me in a few hours of listening to these things. So I'm always like,
Say
because no one
probably
does.
minutes, to be honest, but
I'm always surprised. Nobody does, but that's okay because we're not always connected on LinkedIn, or maybe,
yeah.
I don't know. Or, like everyone's using some AI to go look up the company and figure out what they do or whatever else. So it's a two-way street. So people are interviewing me and the company as well. But it's usually to unpack what they've built, how they approach it, what's the recipe, what are the ingredients, where do you start, why do you do that? Because there is no one size fits all. It's like not a straight line to building a top AWS partnership, but there are some fundamental things that you're going to have to do, or you're going to have to know that they already exist or how they're done, because you're going to have to do them.
Yeah.
So if you've never done them, if you have someone else doing them for you, if you walked into Snowflake in 2026 and there's this whole thing built, or even like it wasn't built, but here's what we did and here's the metrics and like command of your business, that's usually what I'm picking up. Because I always feel like now, I don't know, AI can cheat on anything. You could have AI do most of your homework if I ask you to pass a test or I ask you to write me something. So I don't know, but situational in the moment, if I'm asking you questions and you can't handle it on the spot, you don't really know. You can't speak for experience. So that to me is the ultimate test. My point is no one's perfect and everyone's got different style, and there's ways to coach around that stuff too. Like that example, I've done it in interviews and I've done it as employees. Because I tell people record yourself, open Zoom, record yourself, then go back and listen to it. Because I had to do this in
Fall
school,
asleep.
right? Then I just ask you, okay, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Like, tell me, is a simple trick. Tell me two good things and two things you could do differently. And you'll see it. Like I do it. I use the word like too much. Or if I'm stalling or speaking too fast, I use ums. Like there's these safe words I hear in my own recordings or when I'm listening to myself. Oh, that's right. I gotta stop that again.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Slow down. I say, there's these safe words I use. So when I speak, I remember, how do you stop doing that? Well, if I speak slower, then I can kind of lay my words out. So those are tricks. But if someone watches it and they don't give the feedback that I think that I hear, I see, then it's like, okay, there's an opportunity for me to coach them into something different. But most of the time, what we do is selling.
Yep.
So the simplest question is like, oh, you listen to that. Would you buy something from that person? And they're like, no.
Hell
Or,
no.
like, did you believe what they were selling? Like those are easy questions to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm probably not the best interviewee, but I know, like we were talking about it, I know I've interviewed with so many companies. I just called it free consulting. Yeah, you may hire someone, but I was doing two things in those interviews. Number one, I was telling them what you're expecting, it ain't gonna happen. So whether you hire me or hire anyone else, maybe
So,
don't plant the seed, number one.
yeah.
And then number two, I was also finding that people thought they were going to find some diamond in the rough. You and I've talked about this, that they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to pay 200K for freaking LeBron James. It's like, no, 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 no. If he's going to switch the Lakers and go somewhere else, no, no, no. He ain't going to take 200 grand. No, you're paying for an all-star.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, he's a little older. Maybe he's not as fast or whatever. Dude, it's not going to happen. So if you want to, and I would tell people, terrible. I would say, are you just trying to play in the league? Or are you trying to win the championship? Right? Because the teams that are trying to win championships, they spend for the championship players and the team.
Yeah.
But I can go find really good players at that skill set too. And then what I would love is you're just like an NBA owner. If I use this basketball analogy, you have $4 million of payroll. Go build a championship team program. Oh man, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And the way it works, my boss or just most people, it's like, we're not at that level yet where you're almost running your own P&L and making your own personnel decisions, right? It's still, we got this, we asked for this role, we got this role, here's the range for the role, hire that role. But I would have a championship team, not overnight, but like easy. If you just said, hey, here's a couple $1 million, just go put the players on the court that you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That'd be
then I
good.
would have a different shape of a team and coverage and whatever else. All right, buddy. Go
Cool.
on.
Thanks a lot. Be
All right,
soon.
bye.
Thanks.